Hi guys, it's Megan Moore from the BeautySnoop.com. Today I'm bringing you a fun little how-to tutorial on filling in your brows using a brow powder. I've had a lot of questions about my eyebrows lately and it's one of my favorite topics to talk about. I love me some eyebrow juicy gossip. So I'm going to share with you my go-to products and how I fill my brows in every day, and hopefully it will teach you something new.
For me, great brows always start with a great highlighter, and these are the two that I often use, well, pretty much always use. The one in the white packaging is by Cella, and the one in the pink packaging is by NYX. When I'm a little bit more pale, I go for the pink highlight, and in the summer, when I'm a little bit more tan, I stick with a more true nude. So the first thing I do is I mark visually my brows where I want them to come in the center of my face so that they are even. I do have one that grows farther in than the others, so I find this to be really helpful to visually place where I want the brows to come to. Next, I run the highlighter underneath the brow, right on the brow bone. This not only lifts it visually, but it really cleans up the line, and I just think it makes a world of difference. So for my brows, I swear by these NYX Brow Cake powders. They come with 2 tones and a little pot of wax, and honestly I don't use the wax too often. I find that the powder stays really well all on its own. So taking my angled brush, this one is from Smashbox, I place the color right next to that center mark that I made earlier. And I really like my brows squared off, but if you like a different shape, you can certainly place that in as well. Next, I run the angled brush along the lower part of the brow. So I trace a line all the way across underneath the very bottom of my brow. Then, using that same brush, without adding more product usually, I will just go back and push that line up into the brows to distribute the powder, and using little hair-like brush strokes, soft brush strokes, I'll just push that powder up through the rest of the brows, and it really does a great job of spreading the product. It moves around really pretty easily. And so I find that you can manipulate it longer than, say, a pencil. So you can see the difference between those two there. And obviously I need to clean it up and it's a little too bold at the beginning, but we'll go back and do that. So here I am again. I place that brush right next to the highlight line, and then again trace a really fine line on the underneath side of the brows all the way across to really lock in that shape and that arch where I want it. And then I go back through and I'll just push that product up through the brows in the same direction that they grow. I tend to think that brows look best with the darkest coloring through that middle kind of high arch part, and then kind of taper off and be a little bit lighter towards the inner and the outer. So when I'm adding new product, if I have to dip back into the pan, I'll start by placing that in the middle and then kind of flaring it out to either end. So then I think it's really important to visually check and make sure that things look symmetrical. And I don't know who said this, but it's a really great tip to remember that eyebrows are sisters, they are not twins, so they won't ever look exactly the same. Next, you're going to go and blend in that highlighter, and this is the Cella one that I'm using here. And so you can see that I use my ring finger there just so I'm not tugging too hard on any of the skin around my eyes. And you just go and you really blend that soft, creamy highlighter into the brow. Again, it's going to lift it. It's also going to clean up that line, and it really just finishes it off in a really nice way. It looks a lot more polished, I think. It's really easy to blend it in. And then it gives a little bit of barrier on the skin so that you can manipulate the color a little bit more. And what I mean by that is here I'm going back with a Q-tip and just really cleaning up the lines again, removing any extra that was overdone. And because of that highlighter was there, that color is going to come off the skin really easily. The remarkable thing about these NYX powders though is even though they come off the skin really easily, I still feel like they have amazing staying power. I take my makeup off at the end of the night and I feel like my brows look the same as when I put them on in the morning without the use of the wax. You can use the wax if that's something that you like. It gives a shinier look and it may hold those hairs in place a little bit better for you. Super easy to do. I hope you guys enjoyed it. There's links to products all down below. Be sure you check out thebeautysnoop.com for more tips, tricks, and tutorials like these. Thanks, guys.